Beck's three friends, her husband Dan and girlfriend Hunter, climb the cliff. Dan is ahead of the girls, but because of the bird, the man could not resist and falls off a cliff. Hello everyone, Dr. Fox is with you, and today I will tell you about the movie Fall. Remaining hanging on the safety rope, he tries to grab onto the rock, but the length of the rope is not enough for this. Dan asks Becky to unfasten the carbon. The girl does as her husband asks and unfastens him. When trying to catch on, the insurance did not work. The guy fell and died. A year has passed, poisoned by alcohol and grief. Becky spends time at the bar. After getting drunk, she calls her husband's phone to hear his voice on the recording. Becky is met at the bar by her father. The man tries to wean his daughter off alcohol, but she does not want to listen to him and goes home. Becky cries again and remembers her dead husband. Suddenly the doorbell rings. This is her friend Hunter. She came to help her friend. The girl persuades Becky to do something to distract her attention, and shows her a photo of the abandoned but distant tower. Hunter offers Becky to climb on top of her and scatter the ashes on top. Anne, who had been in the box for a long time, at first she refuses, but the next day, after thinking over Hunter's plan, she still agrees to her proposal. They spent the night at a motel on the way. Hunter tells Becky that he runs his blog about extreme sports and shows her his videos. Watching the video, Becky smiles for the first time this year. At dinner, Becky asks the waitress to recharge her phone, but she replies that this is one of the paid services, and Hunter shows his girlfriend a life hack how to charge a phone from a lamp cartridge. In the morning, the girls drove up to the closed gates and climbed over them, and then they were already walking towards the tower with their feet. After looking at the height of the pillar, Becky begins to shake with horror. But Hunter says that there is no other way out, and the girl can only agree. They cling to each other with safety cables and begin to climb to a height of more than 600 meters. Most of the time, the girls climb the internal stairs and the remaining 60 meters on the outside to get to the platform to which the antennas are attached. They climb over them and continue their ascent. Frightened, Becky, overcoming her fear, slowly climbs upstairs. Hunter decides to make fun of his girlfriend and rocks her on purpose. The stairs, which scares Becky even more. Becky hears an eerie sound. It is a fallen bolt that hit a metal structure, but Hunter convinced her friend that they were almost there and they needed to continue their way up to get to the top. And now the girls are standing on a small platform. It offers a stunning view. Hunter launches a quadcopter to capture the climb on video. Then, handing the remote control to Becky, the girl hangs off the platform, holding onto its edge with one hand. After that, she climbs back and suggests that Becky repeat the same thing. The girl agrees and holds her hand with one hand. They shoot amazing shots. Then, having scattered her husband's ashes to the wind, the friends are going to go downstairs. Becky goes down first, but the ladder cannot stand and collapses. Becky falls and loses her backpack, but is saved by a safety rope, by which Hunter pulls her friend up. After looking around, they realize that they will no longer be able to descend, and they are trying to find a way out of this situation. The girls want to write a message asking for help, but there is no connection. Later, the friends discover a small iron box, which contains a single-shot signal pistol and binoculars. At that moment, Hunter notices the wound on Becky's leg. She takes off her clothes and bandages her friend's wound. Becky, meanwhile, is filming her friend on camera, and it occurs to them to write a post on Hunter's blog. After that, they tie the phone to a rope and start lowering it to catch the connection and send a message, but unfortunately, they cannot do anything. The girls decide to throw the phone on the ground, stuffing it into their sneakers and covering it from impact with their clothes. After that, the girls can only wait for possible help. Looking through binoculars, Hunter notices people below. The girls are calling for help, but their voices cannot be heard because they are too high up. Night is falling. Becky decides to fire a flare gun to get people's attention. Two men notice the girls through a telescope, heading in their direction. Friends are happy, but as it turned out, in vain. Instead of saving the men, they steal Hunter's car. In the morning, the girls decide to get a backpack that is stuck on one of the antennas. Hunter goes down to get her backpack, but she does not have a safety rope, and she unbuckles the carbon, jumping onto the antenna. The girl hooks the backpack onto the rope with a selfie stick and jumps, grabbing it. At some point, she breaks off and clings to the rope again and severely peels off the skin on her hands. Becky pulls out her friend as she can no longer climb on her own. After calming down, the girls remember that they have a quadcopter. They write a note asking for help and send it to the motel. But his battery runs out quickly, and his friends are forced to return. The quadcopter is back. At night, Becky has a nightmare in which she searches for her friend and finds her dead. When she wakes up, she sees that Hunter is alive. She remembers the life hack from the motel and decides to climb the peak of the tower to the light bulb to charge the battery of the quadcopter from it. Becky climbs the pole and charges the battery. At the top, she is suddenly attacked by a vulture fighting with a bird. Becky goes down, and they try to launch the drone again. He almost flies up to the motel, but it collapses due to a car crashing into it, and the attempt ends in failure. Becky remembers the last attempt to reset the second phone, and asks Hunter to give her another pair of sneakers, but she replies that he is not here, but he is lying downstairs. It turns out that when Hunter fell, she did not have time to grab her backpack, hit the antenna and died. Unfortunately, it turned out to be true. Her friend is dead. Becky was left all alone, and the vulture that arrived starts pecking at Becky's wound, but she suddenly grabs the bird and eats it. Recovering, Becky decides to make another rescue attempt and descends to Hunter's body by rope. She writes a message to her father, puts down the phone into Hunter's shoe and plunges it into his girlfriend's body lying on her stomach, and throws her body to the ground in hopes that everything will work out. James goes to the tower to save his daughter. He notices the rescuers packing body in a bag. The man is horrified at the thought that this is his daughter, but later he notices that she is alive. He comes up to her and hugs her tightly. Becky asks her father for forgiveness and says that she loves him very much and she apologizes for everything. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like, dislike and subscribe to the channel. See you later.